So everything is your projection. What you see out there in the world isn't really out there in the world. It's all in you. If you see anger in someone else, they're not really angry. You're just projecting it. It's all in you. If you see sadness in someone else, they're not really sad. It's all in you. If you see that someone else is lying, or they're concealing the truth, or they're manipulating, no, it's not. It's not really in them. All of that is in you. The lies are in you. The manipulation is in you. Everything is your projection. Now, so that's an idea in the wild and wonderful world of spiritual teachings. That idea that everything is a projection is quite popular. And look, there's some truth in it sometimes, and I want to explain why it's also untrue. It's true sometimes, and sometimes it's totally untrue. When I was a kid, there was a man that I knew, and to me, he always felt like he was bubbling with anger under the surface. I always just felt underneath that he was really, really angry. He felt unsafe to me. And everyone around him, no, he's the sweetest guy. He's so gentle and kind and compassionate and, a good Christian and all these things. Anyway, years later, I ended up speaking to him, and I told him what I had sensed in him when I was a kid. And he was like, Jeff, I was boiling with rage. I was boiling with rage underneath the positive, kind, friendly, cheery exterior. I was burning up with rage, and you sensed it. This idea that everything is your projection. Sometimes that might be true. Other times, no, you are really picking up what is going on inside another human being, something they may not even be aware of. This guy probably, of course he wasn't. He wasn't aware of his own rage. It took him years later in therapy to get in touch with his own rage, so he could heal. So I just want to say this, yes, sometimes it's your projection, right? Sometimes, because of your past experience, because of your trauma, you project onto someone else. You see anger in someone else when it's not really there. Or that you feel someone else is against you, or someone else hates you, or someone else loves you. It can be positive and negative projections. And that might not be true. That may just be a projection of your own self, your own thoughts, your own ideas, your parts of yourself that you've disowned. Maybe because you're not in touch with your own anger, you project it into everyone else. Maybe because you're not in touch with your own grief, you project it into everyone else. So I think the danger is that this idea, everything is your projection, can just become, a dead concept, a dogma, like a cult. We become hypnotized by this idea. Everything is our projection. And then the danger is we just stop trusting our own deepest intuition. Just like when I was a kid, my intuition, or rather my nervous system, because we're so attuned to each other, right? Our nervous systems are so attuned to each other. It's called neuroception is the clever technical term for it. But our nervous systems, pick these things up. My nervous system was picking up that this man was deeply, deeply angry, even though that wasn't visible on the surface, and most people didn't see it. So that idea that it was my projection, no, I was picking up what was actually there in front of me. I was tuned in. So the danger is, if we get this concept, no, everything's your projection. The danger is we stop trusting our own deepest knowing, our own deepest intuition. We stop trusting that you get that gut feeling sometimes. I just have a gut feeling that this person is angry, or that they're lying, or that they so many things that really deep down they're in deep grief, and they can't show it, they can't touch it. Sometimes we really are truly picking up what's out there in the world, and it's not just a projection. It's connection, it's intuition, it's a deep knowing. So sometimes, this is why there cannot be any simplistic one-sided answers. Sometimes it's important to realize, actually, no, I'm not projecting on this one. This isn't just my projection. I really truly am picking up what's really there. I'm tuned in. This is my intuition. So sometimes it's important to really trust our own intuition. And then, of course, sometimes it's important to realize that we are projecting. I realized, oh my goodness, I was projecting my own thoughts, my own unhealed self, my own trauma, whatever you want to call it, onto that person. I was projecting that they hated me. I was projecting that they were angry. I was projecting that they were lying or manipulating, or I was projecting that they were whatever it is. So what I'm saying is there are no simplistic answers. We have to be humble. We have to come from a place of not knowing and curiosity, and moment by moment by moment question our perception of things. This is a wonderful inquiry. Do we say inquiry or inquiry? I never quite know. I'm half British, half American, but am I projecting in this moment, in this particular context, with this person, in this situation, with this experience? Am I projecting, or am I tuned into what's really there? And let's not rush to conclusions. Let's be humble. Let's slow down. Let's really stay curious. Let's look with fresh eyes each time to get clear about when we are picking up shit in another person. Because I'm not going to say it. I wanted to say that we're all full of shit. Well, I will say that. I mean, I have just said it. We're all full of shit. The difference is some of us are willing and able to do the work of looking at our shit and owning our shit, owning what's ours. We can be presence and love and consciousness, and out of that we can still say, hey, this is my stuff and this is your stuff. The waves are distinct and separate, but we are all the ocean. So I think that's how you hold that paradox. So it's all your projection, unless it's not. That seems to be the living answer. That seems to be the answer that comes from not knowing, willingness to look. Sometimes your projection, sometimes not. If you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful in any way, please subscribe or follow me or whatever it is. I'm going to be making more shorter videos like this on subjects, topics that I think, I don't know, are helpful. Maybe helpful, maybe not. Don't even know that. That's the funny thing. I never know if this is going to help anyone or not. Or sometimes I think maybe I'm just sharing with myself, or maybe I'm just sharing with that one. Maybe there's one person in the world who needs to hear all of this. This. I'm only sharing the stuff that I wish someone had taught this to me 20, 30 years ago. Wish someone had taught this to me when I was a kid. Anyway, lots of love. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.